The spaceship, Nebula's Whisper, glided smoothly through the vast expanse of space, its metallic hull reflecting the distant stars. Captain Elara gazed out of the main deck's panoramic window, her eyes fixed on the reddish hue of planet Erythros, their destination. "Approaching Erythros in T-20 minutes," announced the ship's AI, its voice calm and monotonous. The crew members busied themselves with their tasks, the atmosphere filled with a mix of excitement and routine. Suddenly, a brilliant flash of light enveloped the ship. The crew members were thrown off balance, alarms blaring throughout the vessel. The once clear view of Erythros was now obscured by a swirling vortex of colors, an otherworldly spectacle that seemed to defy reality. "What's happening?" shouted First Officer Caden, gripping the console to steady himself. The ship's AI responded, "Unknown anomaly detected, unable to establish coordinates." As quickly as it began, the turbulence ceased. The crew found themselves staring at Erythros once again, but something was amiss. The planet seemed different. Its continents shifted and its oceans altered. The crew quickly realized that they weren't just looking at a different version of Erythros, they were experiencing a different moment in time. Historical logs showed Erythros as a barren land, but now sprawling cities and advanced civilizations dotted its surface. Communications officer Lena attempted to establish contact with the planet. To everyone's shock, they received a transmission from another Nebula's Whisper. The voice on the other end was eerily familiar. It was Captain Elara. "This is Captain Elara of the Nebula's Whisper. Do not approach the planet. Turn back now." The transmission was filled with static, but the urgency in the voice was unmistakable. Confusion and panic set in. The ship's AI couldn't provide any logical explanation. The only thing it confirmed was that the anomaly they encountered was a temporal rift, a tear in the fabric of time. Determined to understand the situation, Captain Elara decided to send a reconnaissance team to the planet's surface. As the shuttle descended, they noticed monuments and statues eerily resembling the crew members, hinting at their involvement in this planet's history. Upon landing, the reconnaissance team was met with a grand procession. The inhabitants of Erythros, humanoid but with a luminescent quality to their skin, greeted them with a mix of reverence and fear. They were led to a grand hall where holographic records played out events from the crew's past, present, and what seemed like the future. It became evident that the Nebula's Whisper had been trapped in this time loop for centuries, each iteration leaving a deeper mark on Erythros's history. In one record, the crew was seen as saviors, preventing a catastrophic event. In another, they were invaders, leading to the planet's downfall. The weight of their repeated influence on this civilization was overwhelming. A council of Erythrian elders approached Captain Elara. "You have returned, as the prophecy foretold," one elder began. "But with each cycle, the fabric of our reality weakens. We must break this loop, or both our worlds will cease to exist." The key, they believed, was in the ship's AI, which had absorbed vast amounts of temporal energy during each passage through the rift. If they could harness and reverse this energy, they might close the rift and break the cycle. Back on the Nebula's Whisper, the crew, alongside Erythrian scientists, worked tirelessly to modify the ship's AI. The goal was to create a temporal pulse that would seal the rift and hopefully break the loop. As they worked, Captain Elara and First Officer Caden delved into the ship's historical logs. They discovered encrypted entries from previous versions of themselves, each detailing attempts to break the cycle. Some entries were filled with hope, others with despair. The most recent entry, dated just a few cycles back, contained a warning: "Beware the shadowed ones." As they pondered its meaning, a sudden power outage plunged the ship into darkness. Emergency lights revealed silhouetted figures moving stealthily aboard the ship. These shadowed ones were temporal remnants, echoes of the crew from failed cycles. They sought to prevent any interference with the loop, driven by the belief that the next cycle might be the one where they prevail. A tense standoff ensued. The crew, armed with makeshift weapons, defended the AI core. The battle was fierce, but with the combined might of the Erythrians and the knowledge from the logs, they managed to repel the shadowed invaders. With the shadowed ones defeated, the crew and Erythrians focused on the final adjustments to the AI. The ship's core hummed with energy, ready to release the temporal pulse. Captain Ilara, with a heavy heart, initiated the sequence. A blinding light enveloped the ship, and a shockwave expanded outwards, racing towards the rift. The nebula's whisper shuddered, as reality itself seemed to warp around them. Time became fluid, and visions of past and potential futures flashed before their eyes. Moments of joy, sorrow, victory and defeat intertwined in a chaotic dance. Then, as suddenly as it began, everything stabilized. The familiar starry expanse of space greeted them. The rift, that ominous tear in the fabric of reality, was gone. Erythros, now in its natural timeline, sent out a message of gratitude and farewell. The crew of the Nebula's Whisper had broken the cycle, but the journey left them changed. They had witnessed the weight of their actions across time, understanding that every choice creates ripples through the vast ocean of existence.